Shierry.
And my name is Kaitlin. And this is our friend Candess.
Yeah.
This is Candess Bryant, and she is a good friend of ours. And we are starting this new thing on the Say So podcast. Yeah. We are starting a new series where we're going to have friends come in, and they're going to share some of their stories. They're going to testify about the goodness of God, and they're going to say so. Right?
Yes, I love it.
Yes, they're going to say so. And so Candess is our first gal to join us in this series, and we're so excited. Truly, because it's just so evident that, Candess is just on fire. So excited about what the Lord's doing in your life, and it's just evident. It's just evident in the way that, when you see her, there's just some joy that I feel like is just some newfound joy. Within her and in her eyes and her smile and just in the things that she's sharing in her life. So we wanted to have her on here just to share just a little bit about what the Lord's doing.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. That was so sweet.
Yes!
First of all, it's an honor to be here. I listen in every week, as you'll know, because I share it all the time, so everyone's going to listen. I probably won't share this one because I'll be a little nervous to hear myself, but I appreciate y'all, and I'm honored that you had asked me to be on here. That makes you emotional to say that you see something how the Lord's working, so that's good.
Yes, it's undeniable. It really is.
Thank you.
The
Lord has done a lot. Not just since y'all have known me, but even before, and how the Lord even led me here. So the Lord has done so much in my life.
So tell us about when you say the Lord led you here, what does that mean, and how did you get here?
Well, I grew up here in Graham, and I was kind of one of those, I'm out of here, see you later, I'm never coming back. And,
I know those people.
As I now have learned that people tell me those are the famous last words. I had no desire to be in Graham. I was going to go off into the world in a big city, which I did. I did Dallas for 12 years, and life happened, and the Lord led me to Graham, but I will say I didn't come back kicking and screaming. I wasn't sad because of what the Lord had done in my life before then. For those that knew me before, I had gotten married, and we had lost a baby, and we got divorced. Not something that I was ever proud of. Was never something I ever wanted. I was absolutely against everything I wanted in my life. So I had a lot of shame and a lot of fear, but the Lord walked me through and loved me through it, redeemed me. I was rebaptized, and when He told me that this is where He wanted me, I'll never forget. I was at High Ridge Graham Christmas Eve. I still lived in Dallas. My sister said, High Ridge is coming to Graham, which they were members in Benbrook. And we were home for Christmas, and she said, come to this Christmas Eve service. And so our family loaded up, went, and didn't think anything of it. And it was in that service that the Holy Spirit was like, this is where I want you. And I thought, okay. And I grew up in another church here in town, so I just naturally would have thought, well, if I was going to move back, I would have been at this other church. But, that was just the first step. And then the next step was my father, whose hygienist was retiring soon. And he said, hey, there's an opening. And it just really felt like a relief off my shoulders, a stress of like the Lord, like, this is a break. Your wheels are turning, you're stressed, you're exhausted. Just trust me. And so I actually went gung-ho. I'm coming to Graham. It was nice to be home with family. And it was like, okay, I'm trusting the Lord. I'm submitting my life to Him. But then, part of you gets back in, and it's like, okay, but what's next? Am I leaving here? And it was kind of that cycle. I don't know. It's easy to do sometimes, like, fully trust and submit. And then it's also like the controller in me of anxiety, and like, but this is what I want to do. So that was really hard. But as y'all know, I connected with someone from Graham, and we got married, and we now have an 18-month-old, and it's everything I've ever wanted in my entire life. Being a mother has been so rewarding and so wonderful. So I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't change it for the world, but it wasn't the story that I wanted for myself. It wasn't.
Wow. Well, I remember I think the first time I really was around you a lot was in group with Darby. We were in Darby in Mike's Freedom group. Remember?
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
That seems like forever ago.
Well, even before that, when I first moved here, before Darby was here, you invited
Oh,
me
we
to your
did.
little small group, and it was all couples and me.
I remember that. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Oh wow. I had totally forgot about
I know.
that.
I almost did too. And I was thinking the other day, and I was like, wait, it was even before that.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
That seems like a lifetime ago. Okay, wow. I guess my first memories, I think of you in Landon. I think when I think of you, I think of Landon, and I think it's that Freedom Group. And I think just looking back from then to where you are now, there's just been a shift, right?
Yeah.
There's been
I
a
see
shift
it.
just in your, I don't know.
Posture?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Like, do you
I
feel
don't.
like you don't?
Because this last year and a half has been a really hard season.
Yeah.
Yeah, COVID alone.
Yeah.
It just felt very isolating. But I didn't have anything to compare it to, delivering a baby, just you and your spouse, not having family there and not coming home to people welcoming in your home. So it just already felt like an isolating season as it was.
Yeah.
And then it's like after that, it's just been, one thing after another, but that's just life, just figuring out motherhood. It's childcare. It's, the shifts of going back to work and all those things. And I will say that, like, early on, those early days, like, were so hard because I had the unplanned birth and the surgery and the Lord, I just spent so much time. I would just remember being nursing and I would just be in so much pain and so sad, but then the Lord used that time, and I used that time with the Lord. While it was lonely and isolating, it wasn't. He's worked so much in me.
Yeah.
I think seasons of isolation can teach us things that we never would have learned otherwise because it is just you and the Lord. And He teaches us so much about how He's all that we need. He really is, more than a husband or a child or friends or purpose. He is that. But we have to go through those seasons.
Right.
So looking back then, Candess, from who you were when you were in Dallas to who you are now, how are those two girls different? And how do you think you've come to trust the Lord in a new way? And how has your relationship with the Lord changed from then to now?
So I would say, I'm the same person to my core that, I still loved people and I still loved the Lord, but I still was living my life one foot in the church and one foot in the world. And I think a lot of it stemmed from just a lot of insecurities and rooted from past trauma and abuse as a child that I carried with me.
Sure.
And so just that insecurity of just always trying to fit in. So I wanted to, with Dallas, wanted to do the cool, fun thing.
Yeah.
And I tried different, and it's just it wasn't me. And I don't know if anyone else has really felt this way, but I just never really felt like I ever really fit in. I never felt like I really belonged. Even though I had friends, what we were doing in certain seasons, I just never felt like I belonged.
Yeah.
And after I got divorced, I literally never wanted to get married ever again. I just thought, I'm going to trust the Lord. And if I'm single forever and I'm just living my life for the Lord, then so be it. And He led me to Graham. But it's a different posture now because He's led me here. And especially this week in Easter, Holy Week, it's just hitting me harder this year because I just love Him so much and He's done so much for me. He's rescued me from so many pits of my life. And He's always been there. And so why wouldn't I trust Him? Why wouldn't I just be fully in? Who cares where I live and what house I have and what brand my kid wears, or what daycare he goes to. Just the littlest, dumbest things that I used to think mattered so much. It really doesn't. It doesn't. I want him to see that I love the Lord, and I want him to know the Lord. And I want him to know that, your purpose is in that, not in your job. And for me, I was a dental hygienist for years at Dallas. To my core, though, I'm a people person, and my purpose has changed in those seasons that I was always about caring for other people and treating patients, in the healthcare realm. It's hygiene. But now, like, what is for me now, I really did not think I was going to be doing something totally different out of my realm of what I went to school for or got a degree for. But I had a lack in my heart, a need for an outlet for fitness, for my health and wellness that I got in the city that wasn't here. And selfishly, I wanted somebody to do it here. And I remember, between nursing sessions, one of the She Speaks, I was like, I'm going to go to She Speaks. I'm not meeting any girlfriends here. I knew I would know people. And the Lord broke me down and was like, why not you? I'm like, well, I can give you a lot of reasons. I'm like, I can barely get childcare and work. Like, what? You want me to do what? And so here we are. And as y'all know, I'm like knee deep in trying to get something going, but not about me. It's just about him and whatever he's going to do with it. It's just pretty special.
I want you to share more about what the Lord's doing, but I feel like just in what you've shared with us so far, to me, it just seems so evident that, you had ideas of what your life would look like. Mm-hmm. You also had ideas of what you would prefer.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Lord has shown you through a little bit of stripping those things away that he has way more than you could even dream. Because you tell me, you're like, no, I didn't see a shift. But I'm like, it's all I see. And it's not bad to good. It's what you said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out to all in. That's what I see in you. That's what we both see.
Yeah.
So what I feel like in the last year and a half, you said it's been really hard. I feel like the isolation, the discomfort, the sadness even it has brought that intimacy with the Lord that has led you to be all in.
Right.
And it is so infectious, Candess. Like, truly, it is. And just hearing you, like, it is the little things, preferences that we have and things that we thought, would be this way or that.
Yeah.
When you're like, man, it just doesn't matter at the end of the day. All I want is for my son to be able to see that I love the Lord so much and I want him to love him too.
Right.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
I know. I totally feel like God's like, that a girl. Like that.
Yes.
That, like, I
She
love.
gets it. I'm proud of her. My girl.
No, and I just love that you said that your purpose has kind of been the same, but it looks really different because I totally see you as a people person, but I see you as a people person every time I ever see you, no matter what setting you're in, Candess. And so I know God's like, yeah, of course, but I think more women need to know it's okay that your purpose looks different, like in different seasons.
Yes.
And of course, your purpose would shift a little as you have a kid, as all of ours. Nothing will strip you down. Like having a kid, especially a toddler, they really just break you down in some good ways, some really good ways. But the breaking of you has just been the making of you, Candess, and it's so cool.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what the Lord is doing right now. Like, what dreams has he put inside of you?
Well, it's weird you say dreams he's put inside of me because I didn't even realize it was a dream of mine.
That's always how it works, isn't it?
And it's so weird, I was introduced to Pilates and bar and like boutique fitness in Dallas. And when I was going through some autoimmune disease struggles with my health, I grew up an athlete. It was like, go big or go home. You did boot camp, you were all in. And that like made me so sick in my adrenals. And I just it was not good for my health. I would be down and out. And so I didn't understand how to work out in a healthy way for me. And then when I found that, it changed my life. And so when I moved to Graham, I thought, well, everyone always says, so you can just drive to Fort Worth. It's not far away. And so I did that, and then COVID happened right when I was pregnant. And then after that, it was like, well, they say you're bounce back after a baby or whatever. That's a myth. But it was harder for me to just drive to Fort Worth and take a Pilates class and come home. And so the Lord was like, why not you? And so I thought, okay, well, it's not here in Graham. Maybe there will be a demand or a need for it. I don't know. So I've begun my journey of getting certified in Pilates and bringing it to Graham. But, beyond that, it's just, I want people to have a community. Like, yes, I could go to this gym or that gym. I just felt like what I was lacking, what the Lord was stirring in me is that women need a place to feel welcome and encouraged and something that is inviting and uplifting, where we come alongside you no matter where you are in life. So it's a place that you're going to have life change, not just physically, but hopefully mentally or spiritually, wherever that leads, but to the core of it is the Lord, and that's how I'm going to use it.
Wow.
So was it scary to step into that, or did you feel like
scary? Because I'm we don't have the finances for this, you know. Like Landon's changed jobs, I've cut back days because of childcare, and I thought, okay, you know, the Lord was like, don't worry about all these things, you know, because Landon and I were trying to map it all out. If you get certified, it costs this. You know, looking at all different locations in town, and I was just like, Lord, you know, isn't someone else more equipped for this, you know, financially, or someone that like is already an instructor in town? I didn't understand that. But then as I've come to realize, well, the Lord wouldn't get as much glory if it was easier with somebody else. And so God's getting all the glory, you know, and I'm shouting from the rooftops, like, this would not be possible without the Lord.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't wait.
I know. I'm excited.
I love it.
Because I do think, I think it will be just such a great place for women together. But I also feel like knowing you and knowing that this is for God's glory, he's already going to get people there. Like, I'm not even going to be worried about that, because he's going to bring them, because you're right, he's going to get the glory in it.
Yeah. It's cool, but it's so scary too. I mean, just from like the name, like I'm an OCD person, and I like, you know, we all talked about inspiration last week. I've had like a board of names for a year, because I think the Lord stirred in this conversation about a year ago. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I had names, praying over whatever, and I felt like the Lord had given me the word pure. And I was kind of stirring over that, and then we kind of had some obstacles, and then literally last night, I Googled the meaning of my name. I don't know why or what did it. I pulled it up on my phone. The meaning of Candess is pure, white, or sincere. I about died. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, so simple, and yet so
impactful. I didn't even realize it. But anyways, I literally just found that last night.
That's so cool.
Well, man, God has just done an incredible work in you. I mean, since we've known you, but it sounds like he has been at this all the time. And so, Candess, what would you say to somebody, you know, in this season of life where either A, they're grieving what was, or B, how do you step into, what would you say to encourage them to trust the Lord as you have?
You know, I was just at a women's event on Saturday evening, and a woman got up and spoke. And it just rang with me, because a lot of times in the Christian faith, you just think, oh, you become a Christian and you're just happy. You know, then you're happy and you're fulfilled and everything's all flowers and roses. And
we've talked about this.
Really not how it is. It's just really not how it is. You know, especially when there's a death or grieving, as you said. It's so hard to say to someone, you know, like, God has a plan for your life, because that, when you're in that season, that stings, because you're like, how can it get better from here? You know, my life has just been ripped out from underneath me, you know, and I've been there. But you have to cling to the sovereignty of God. He will use it for good. He will bring people alongside you to comfort you and show you, and you to feel and experience things that you never would have if you wouldn't have grieved. So it's the mountaintop. It's once you get to the top, it's just so much better when it's through him instead of you on your own. You trying to figure it out, and then it's not going to get better. So that's what I would say as far as someone that's grieving and what I would do. But as far
you can't have resurrection without death.
Yeah.
And what a great week to be talking about that, you know, with Easter coming up. But I love that you said that. And I love that you acknowledge that we do have to grieve sometimes the dreams or the things that we thought we wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard. But God's still good. Even through the messinesses of life, trials, tribulations, disappointments, he's still good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just have to find people that know that that come alongside you.
That's
That
good.
carry
Yeah, that
you
is.
through.
That's good.
You have to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been so good to just sit and talk with you and, really just to hear all about the things that the Lord's been doing. Like, it's just so evident, And I love that your heart really is, like, just for Him to get the glory from it. It's not about Candess. It's not about your family. Like, it's about Him. And I just can't imagine how proud He is of you. We are.
For sure.
Well, even
We're
if nothing
real
happens,
proud.
like we're just now in the renovations of the building, and I'm like, well, even if it doesn't happen, and in my head I was like, all of this is just steps of obedience. I'm still trusting Him, and it's still going to be wonderful. So even if it doesn't take off, it's still okay.
It was a faith step, and you took it.
And He'll honor that
It's
obedience.
faith steps. That's right.
That's right. Step by step. It's the only way. Well, thank you so much for saying so with us today, because it's a great story and people need to hear it, and God does need to get the glory. He will. And hey, whoever is listening today, why not you? Why not you?
Why not?
That's good.
That's good.